common ground.
He got it. He got it. Oh, Larry got it right. Yay,
Thank you.
Larry.
And before we get going, one thing I want to say to anybody that's listening,
Which is nobody.
is
There might be 7.
I got my one friend. He listens to us.
don't cut yourself short.
And
Anyway,
don't come down.
I just want to say that if you have any comments, you have any questions, anything you might have to contribute to this podcast,
Don't contribute
please.
bullets. That's the one thing we don't want you to contribute.
Stop. You can
Write your question
You
into
guys
mail
can
it
be
into
funny
P.O. Box.
afterward. Let me make the statement.
P.O. Box 144.
If you have any comments, any questions, anything at all, go to the comment section before or after and let us know, and so we can address to any of your concerns at a later date. Thank you. Now you can be funny.
Please
It's
make
too
sure to
late
leave
now,
your social
Larry.
security
You
number,
fucked that
your
up.
address, and your ID.
Don't forget your debit card number.
Comedy's
John's there,
comedy's
Michael.
about timing.
My father's talking
And
to
the
you.
three
Oh, he
numbers
just
in back
gave me
of your
he said I'm
CCTV
number
card.
1.
Yeah, he sure did.
Your dad thinks I'm number 1.
Anyway, so we have Mr.
Down a little bit.
Oh, that's me. I'm John.
Hi, John. I'm Rick.
And Casey.
I thought it was Cassie.
And I'm wrong.
Hey, Ron.
And I'm last but not least,
Loudmouth Larry.
I'm Larry. Okay. So anyway, what we wanted to do today is to talk about the events of this week. The shooting. I'm not going to call it an assassination. I'm just going to call it what it is: the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And there's a lot of things that have been said. They try to make it sound like they call it an assassination, but they didn't call it an assassination when they shot the Speaker of the House in Minnesota and her husband.
Portman.
They didn't call that an assassination.
Right.
Even though that was.
So they didn't. And when John McCain passed away, the question from Trump when he was in office the first time was, why do we have to fly the flag at half staff? But yet they've ordered the flags to be flown at half staff for Charlie Kirk. Now, Charlie Kirk, I didn't always agree with the guy. In fact, I don't know that I could say I ever did agree with him. But he had the right to his opinion, and he shouldn't have been shot for that, reason, because somebody disagreed with
Why
him.
should he have been shot?
He shouldn't have been shot.
Oh, okay.
So, the point. So those are the basic truths. So we have now a situation where this man is being put up as some kind of saint. And, from my vantage point, he was far from sainthood.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
He was a bigot, a racist, a
misogynist. Yeah. A lot of times you listen to what he had to say, and it definitely was on the fringe because, Trump had mentioned that it was the fault of the far left lunatic Democrats that were responsible, or far left liberals, when in fact they were on the total other end of the spectrum where they almost meet, and he was the total far right.
So, he wasn't the total far right.
We don't know that yet.
Who?
Because
Charlie
he was not a
Charlie
registered
Kirk,
voter. He didn't vote.
Charlie
the last
Kirk?
two
Oh, no, we're
elections.
talking about Charlie Kirk?
No. I'm talking about
the
Kirk.
shooter.
I'm talking about Kirk.
Kirk was not far right.
Yeah, he was nationalist, right?
What would you call him?
Well, he was on the right, but Nick Fuentes is far right.
Well,
And that's
Outright Nazi. Yeah,
Maybe there are certain degrees
That's
of
what I'm
far
saying.
right.
Well, and that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
Okay, so he still falls within the far right, but there may be people that are even more.
he was
to the
MAGA.
right.
He's definitely MAGA.
Definitely. Okay, no question. I won't argue with that. So, this whole situation, now we're, somebody had made the statement. The governor of Utah had made the statement
Cox,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, he made the statement about.
I just like to say that word, Cox.
Yeah, I know you like that word.
Is that with a CK or a big X?
Well,
Size doesn't matter.
Okay.
Parrot doesn't.
but the point is
Right,
he was making comments about how social media as I guess we've gone too far with social media. And, you know, from that standpoint, I will tend to agree. What's that? What?
I can hear you louder and then not. Louder.
Oh, it's because maybe I'm moving from the mic. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. So you know, I think social media definitely, and I think most people will say it plays a part in this whole thing.
Well, definitely. Yeah,
But
for
the
sure.
yeah, and the worst part is you can blame it on the social media, but there's no personal responsibility. That's the way the people get away from taking responsibility, is by blaming it on social media. Social media is just a vehicle that we use to communicate, but it's really our responsibility to measure how we communicate. That's what makes the difference. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of hatred.
Yeah, and it came from KKK Kirk.
Well, yes, that came from that, but he wasn't responsible for it all.
He is if he.
Well, if he's
participates in
espousing it, yeah.
Yeah, you're responsible for your words.
I agree that we're responsible, but he's not responsible for what's happening throughout the country or throughout the world.
He's part
Yeah,
of
but
it.
he-
Yeah, it's
He's a
movement.
contributor, but we all contribute in a certain
I don't
extent.
contribute
But if
to
you
white
think about it,
supremacy.
he spoke it into truth. He manifested it for himself in
He
a
did.
way.
He did.
He said people should be publicly executed
Executed.
in front of people on television.
And that
he
happened.
also said about the children.
be watching it.
You know, that they were just, you know, oh well, they're just another victim and promoting gun violence.
Well,
and-
he said that some people have to die
Yeah,
for
some
us
people
to have
have
our
to die.
Second Amendment right.
And
Yeah.
He
that
said
is
we shouldn't have empathy for people. That's just a made
you-
up.
you know when he
New
said
Indian
that?
term.
You know when he said that? When he got shot. Before he got shot, the question came to him about guns.
No, he'd been talking about that for
No,
years.
I
Larry, he'd been
wait,
talking
whoa,
about
whoa,
it for
whoa,
years.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold it for a second. What I'm saying is, when he got shot, that was the question to him by
We're
one of
talking
the.
about gun violence, yes.
That's right.
And he asked, are we talking about gangs or not gangs? Do gangs get
Oh, yeah,
added
violent.
to
What do you
that?
say?
Violent
Yeah.
gangs get added to that.
He also had said that if people die from gun violence, well, you know, he's finding justification in it. That it's, you know, it's for the sake of the rest of all.
Well,
of
for
us.
the so we
Sake
can all
of the
have the
Second Amendment.
Yes, that's what he just said.
Yeah, which is
So he got everything he wanted, and the great part for him, I think, that he's probably very happy about, is that it was a white, young, Trump-loving, amosexual, gun-toting Mormon, and not a DEI hire.
what the guy that shot him.
Yes.
Very
Well, I
Mormon.
didn't hear anything yet.
Well, I have.
you
That's
heard-
exactly what it is. It's Tyler
Wait.
Robinson, 22-year-old. Yes.
I didn't hear that he was Trump loving.
He's Trump loving, yes. In fact, his grandparents have come out and said they're all MAGA in
they're
that
all-
family.
I know his family.
he had a Trump shirt on.
I
in the
know
picture.
his
No, it wasn't a Trump shirt.
his family have
I
been
It was
think
an
that was
American
fake.
flag.
his
Yeah.
family. It's
It
been
was
noted
a shirt.
to be
No, they imposed it.
conservative.
Someone imposed
His
it.
family has been noted to be
Have you been to Utah?
I have. I lived there, and man, that is the widest racist state
I'm
I've
not-
ever been
Well,
to.
Idaho might beat it in racism. I don't know.
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, I've never been there, so I
But
don't
they're
say
right
that.
next to each other, so it's very honky toast. I mean, I just came
It
from
is.
there, and it's nothing but white.
Oh, I went there 20 years ago when I lived there. I lived in Tooele. And,
How did you live there? Because my buddy who looks like you,
I had
brown
fun with it,
skin,
yeah.
like he had to go do something for work there.
Right.
And he stopped in to get some food, and they were like, "Dude, you gonna eat this here?" He's like, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, you better hurry up. It's time to go."
Yeah,
I'm like-
I've been fortunate that I've never been accosted like that. I've been stared at and told certain things, but as they drove by.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But no one's ever confronted me. I used to take joy into dating white women out there and taking them to the clubs.
Yeah.
It would make them, man, did you just get the biggest stares? And they'd get angry. And I'd pick a tall one on purpose.
I've been to Utah and I never dealt with racism.
I've never seen
Could
racism.
that be because you're white?
I never felt any of
I
that.
don't know what you're talking about, guys. You're
like-
ridiculous.
I guess I'm fortunate that Jews don't have a certain color.
Yeah.
And then,
No, you don't.
When you get there, you'll see there's certain demographics, like there's Mexicans in every part, right?
Yes.
So I was in those parts, and the people that wanted to be there, the white people there, they wanted to be there because they weren't prejudiced.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't get too much flack from that, but on the outside public areas, people cuss you out or drive by. Drive-bys are my biggest things.
Yeah, because they didn't want to really confront
No.
you. No.
I never got
They're
confronted in
they're
my
chicken
face.
shit, basically. So anyway,
So Charlie Kirk,
the kid was a. So he was a groiper is what they call them. People who follow Nick Fuentes is what's come out.
right.
And Nick Fuentes
Nick Fuentes a Nazi.
is a Nazi. He's even further right than
That's weird having
Charlie Kirk.
a Nazi last
Mexican.
name being Fuentes.
I know.
Right.
Well, how different is it to have a guy that's chief of staff that's Jewish?
Yeah, sure.
That's a Nazi.
Miller, who's a Nazi.
Right.
Try that one on for, and whose family were Holocaust survivors.
I'm still trying to figure out what Jews look like.
We got
like
hook-
Larry.
We have hook noses.
Look at Larry.
But that's what I'm saying. Larry's got all that power. We should be.
I
more
know
famous.
he's got all that money and power. That's
Yeah.
why I brought him into the podcast,
And
right?
I
Ron?
run Hollywood.
Do you see how he fucking runs this podcast? He's like, shut the fuck up, Larry's talking.
I need a loan.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So may I bring up though, and if we're going to debate or speak about Charlie,
Oh, he's awesome.
Charlie didn't die for his rhetoric. Do we all know that or disagree? What are your opinions?
He did not die for his rhetoric. Wait, he did in the sense that he wasn't right enough. I think maybe that's it. You know,
Well, you know, the
he
thing-
didn't. He was right, and he's maybe even far right, but he wasn't far enough right.
Right. He died for his. He died. He
I
died
thi-
from his own people.
I think,
In a
well,
way,
you
he
know,
died of the manifestation of his own words, though.
I think that one of the things that he died for was the fact that he had a roommate that he was involved with romantically, who is being transitioned from was it male to female.
Is that factual
transsexual.
still?
That's not fact.
I don't know that. I don't
No,
know.
it's
I haven't
not
looked that
fact.
up.
I don't
I
think
have.
that's fact.
There's controversy about that.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that. But
Well,
if
he
if
definitely-
that's the case, if let's use that as a premise because that's a lot of what's being said right now, and if that is the case, I think that played into whatever his decision or his action to shoot Charlie Kirk because of all the things that he has also said about the LGBTQ plus community.
No,
Okay, well,
that's
Well,
not. That's
he
not.
didn't die for being a white supremacist or for being racist. That's not what he died for, right?
well,
We
you're
know
not
that.
a racist if you're against the LGBTQ community.
Well, homophobic. I don't even know if that's true to be homophobic. What does homophobic mean? It means
Being
to be
afraid
scared.
of
They're not scared of
Scared of gay
homosexuals.
people.
They're not scared of homosexuals. They just hate them.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
why-
why that's where your phobia is, right? Like, because you don't understand. So I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, I can figure that, but I don't think they're scared of them. I think they just actually hate them.
Okay, well that's all semantical. And I
Right.
didn't mean symmetrical. But
And I'm not understanding your
Well, I like
argument. I'm not
semantics,
understanding your argument, Larry. What are you trying to say?
In
well,
English,
I'm
please.
trying to say if in fact that would be the case,
What would be the case?
why wouldn't he? Well, if he was involved with his roommate,
Tyler
Tyler
Robinson?
was involved with his roommate, and sexually, what have you? Because that's what's being said.
I haven't read that yet. Where are they saying that at?
I haven't heard that either.
No, I've read it, but
They said he's
Doesn't
involved.
mean it's true.
no, does not.
It just
mean
said
it's
that
true.
roommate's cooperating.
Very
The
much so.
roommate is cooperating. That was the other thing that was a
I
fact.
guess.
So he
Flesh is
caught the
flesh.
woke virus? Is that what happened?
Is that what you're saying, Larry?
I'm saying that his anger could be centered around that as well.
Do we know
Because
he was-
all
That
the
wouldn't make
things,
him
all the things
far
that Charlie
right.
Kirk has made mention of people who are transsexual, transgendered, is
What has he said? What has Charlie Kirk said about that?
well, he's obviously in opposition of transgender.
I got a question.
What?
So now I wasn't familiar with Charlie Kirk until this, and I started deep diving into listening to just because I wanted to know. It's like I don't know this guy. Is he really that bad? You know, family members were obviously
Hanging out
listening
with
to
him.
him. So okay, how bad could this guy be? And it said, "Prove me if I'm wrong." But every time I listened to him, he always cut somebody off all the time. He never gave anybody a chance, and he always made them feel bad, like, oh, you're wearing a shirt that says "I'm enough." but that's a suicide shirt, and that's basically a stupid shirt to wear.
Yeah.
I don't know what what is he saying? Like, no empathy and all this other stuff. And I'm like, how could you support this person who is everything that you were supposedly against?
Yeah, he
But
never.
yet
did
you're. I'm trying to
Yeah.
just that those type of people say I'm a Christian and I'm this, but obviously from what I see, and maybe I'm wrong, but the more I look at it, this guy's a Christian nationalist from what a Christian nationalist is described. That's how I look at it, and I just like prove me wrong, right? I want to know,
Yeah.
So I have a hard time when you see these Christian people, that family or friend or whatever, and they're on his side, but yet this guy's talking about everything they're supposedly against in the Bible and all this. So I have issues with that, and it makes me very angry. And I could go and sit there and go,
how do you as a Christian support Donald Trump?
I'm still trying to figure out how a 30-06 can blast his neck and only have a little. That's a high. Anyways, I could go down a rabbit hole with it. The bullet with the between it, yeah. So I'm still
He
trying
was
to
a
figure
bad
that one
shot,
out.
is what it boiled down to.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe he was trying to hit this. They said he was wearing a plate or I can get into statistics. I want to know that shit, and I know it's not the time to talk about
I think
that.
you're right about one thing. He was a Christian nationalist, a white Christian nationalist.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that.
I think the Republican Party, because it didn't turn out to be somebody who is super woke on the left, anti-transgender, pro-transgender or transgender themselves or gay or any of this, they're trying to spin this, because that was the first thing that they did. They came out and they said, it's a lefty, it's probably transgender. That's what Mace talked about. And she had to backtrack the moment we found out he is a white, young male who listened to Nick Fuentes on a regular basis. And Nick Fuentes does not like Charlie Kirk. Never liked Charlie Kirk. I think because Kirk, my personal view is not just because he wasn't as far right as Nick Fuentes as he is, but I think that he jumped into the mainstream. He took off and Nick Fuentes didn't. I think Charlie Kirk was making money off people like Donald Trump and his name and that kind of thing, and he was doing way better than him and was very jealous of it. So he'd get his groypers to go out and heckle him, go to different colleges when he would be speaking and give him problems. And I think this kid, from everything we've found out so far, he was what sounds like a groyper. He listened to Nick Fuentes. I don't think that the story all of a sudden that he was now with a transgender male that he might have been in a relationship with in the apartment is true until I see more facts. I think that's the spin that Fox News, Newsmax, the Republican Party.
I don't watch any of that stuff.
They want
Right.
to put that spin on it because that's what they want. And I just because I listened to another guy named Texas Paul Schroeder, and that guy is like, there's no evidence to indicate that this other kid who lived in the apartment with Tyler is transgender at all, or that they had a romantic relationship. In fact, that person's nothing but help.
Well,
help the
I'll
police.
say this. In a sense, I do agree that the time that I'll really believe anything is when I hear it out of the mouth of that person. When I hear it from them directly, then I'll really have a true belief in it. It's just like with Trump. A lot of people.
So you believe
they
everything
act-
Trump says?
I
Because it comes out of his mouth.
Hold it a second. There's a lot of times people will believe that they ignore the things that he says that don't work for them,
Right.
but they believe something totally different. Whereas, from my standpoint, I believe when he says, I'm going to be a dictator, I believe that that's what he wants to do. That's what his aim is.
His actions prove that.
Well, when it comes down to it, he did nothing to calm anybody down.
No, he
Other than
tried,
say
he
at
tried
all.
to create more hate. He wanted to blame it on the leftist liberals,
That's
the
his goal.
radical.
That's his goal.
To separate. His goal is not to bring America together. He wants America divided because that's the only way in his world that he can conquer is by dividing the people.
That's what dictators
he's
do.
using, and I can't help but feel that he's taking the his best opportunity right now to divide the people even more by using Charlie Kirk as the vehicle to do it. And there's no question that there's people that are divided on both sides. But the one thing that I've been hearing from both sides, and to a certain degree, not from the outside extreme sides, but more towards the center, is that this is something that has to stop. We have to come together as a country, and stop all of this, because who are we really hurting? We're dividing ourselves. This is how a nation falls. And we will fall to our knees and we'll be our own destruction. The rise and fall of the Third Reich, or how about the fall of Rome? Any of civilizations falls because the people allow it to. Because they become a part of it. This is our country. We need to be able to live together with one another. We may not accept what each other has to say. That's okay. But at least we can have a neighbor that may not believe what we believe, but we can still get along together. We can still sit down, whether we have a drink, have
I don't think I want to have a drink with a Nazi.
Well, okay.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know
have
if this
to.
is going to be true until Trump is gone.
Right.
Yeah, I
you remember
hate to tell you, but until Trump disappears, and I mean disappears, like he's out of not just being
I
president,
hope
but
he
he's
has
got to
a
be
heart attack
gone.
soon.
Yeah, he's got to be gone. I think then MAGA will fall apart, and then I think the racist will climb back under the rocks.
Do you think we're being
potentially.
distracted? Because what I was talking to Larry about before all this was I went on a deep dive last night, and I kept seeing different
What was it called?
different ways of another shooter in this area, or another shooter doing it under the arm, or a sniper saying, well, we would do it this way or do it that way. And I'm thinking, and I got to the point where it's like, I'm done with this because I'm confused. Are we being distracted from something else?
Like what? Like the Epstein files?
Yeah, just like anything else. I mean, back in World War II, they would do that too. They would kill people and stuff. But that Kurt, from what I look like, is what was that? Joseph Goebbels was the propaganda manager,
Right.
Right. That's how I thought Charlie Kurt was
he
just the
was.
propaganda manager. But then he said something like, was it Epstein or Trump was working with the FBI to get whole profile people in?
Yeah, it was Kirk.
Okay, it was because somebody had said Trump, but then I thought I heard him say Epstein. Now, was that something that maybe is going on that we don't know about?
Kirk was at first. Kirk wanted the Epstein files to be exposed, and then he walked it back.
Okay.
And then it was said that Trump was an informant for the FBI.
Wasn't by
That was
Speaker
Mike
of the House,
Johnson.
Mike Johnson, right?
Mike
Well,
Johnson
he
said
said
that.
He
there
tried
was,
to say-
there was a few people that had been
He was trying to say
espousing
Trump had to diddle with children in order to convict Epstein.
Poor guy, boy, all that work, huh?
Right? Oh, how dare!
So, but the thing is,
They've had so many stories about Trump and Epstein. It's
The
hard to
point
see.
is, you made the point about it being a distraction, and I think that because of what's happened with Kirk, that Trump is able to take this as a perfect opportunity, as a distraction.
That's all it is.
Of the Epstein files.
That's all it is.
I
He's
know,
using
but
it
it's
as a
going to be
distraction.
propagated by him even more so.
And that
What
was
is?
that was a rough shot.
I don't think he's going to last so long. His attention span is horrible.
What's
Donald
gonna
Trump?
be propagated?
The distraction by Trump will use as much as he can
Well,
to
of course.
distract.
Of course.
By using the Kirk situation.
Well, of course he will. It's a perfect opportunity.
I don't think the killing of Charlie Kirk was a distraction. I think it was what it was.
It is what it is. Yes.
It was. It was.
I don't
them
say it was
riding-
planned.
not as a distraction.
No,
it was planned as a method to.
That was a personal thing. It was
Yeah.
one
Yes.
guy.
There was one guy that listened to him that didn't like him and didn't want him to
Basically,
speak,
for what
speak
we
he
know,
was
yes.
right. So, but that's the environment that Donald Trump and the right wing
created.
and the Christians, the Christo fascists, that's the environment they created, and they can't control it now. And it's they're committing violence against themselves.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it.
And they
let
MAGA on MAGA
they let the monster
violence.
they let the monster out the bag, and that monster they can't control. Angry, bitter, hatred.
That's why they want to divide the people even
It's
more.
like what the Republicans did with Trump in the first time he became president. They unleashed him, and now you can't control it anymore. He's taken over the party. It's not a Republican Party anymore.
No, it's not.
MAGA. It's
It's
just MAGA.
MAGA.
And that's why when I talk about right, I just mean MAGA. I don't feel like there's any moderate Republicans left. People who
No,
still
they're called Democrats.
Yeah.
Corporate Democrats. Those are moderate Republicans.
they're just moderates, right? So I got friends like that. They still are in the Republican Party, but they're moderates.
Because they hate the idea of having to drop their identification with a party, and they don't want to be a Democrat, and I guess they don't want to be even in what's known as independent.
No. Well, and sometimes they're just lazy because Americans are lazy.
Democrats sure do want to be Republican. What was her name hanging around with Liz Cheney when she was campaigning for president? Miss Harris?
What, Kamala?
Yeah, there you go. She was palling around with Liz Cheney.
Well, Liz Cheney
Liz
seems
Cheney's a good-
she
good one.
seems pretty moderate to me.
Yeah, she is now.
She's
Her
a
and Mitt Romney were the only good ones there were.
Well, Liz Cheney, honestly,
I still wouldn't call her good.
Look.
Remember who her father was, Halliburton.
Yeah, but she's not her father, and
Yeah,
she
yes,
did the right
Applebee's.
and she did the right thing in the end.
Doing the right thing once doesn't make
Well,
it
no,
clear
no,
of
wait
all
a
the
second.
evils you
No,
did.
but
she's still part of the
You-
party that sits there and breaks labor. She's still part of the party that sits
No,
there.
that party doesn't exist any longer.
She still exists, so yes. it
But
still
that party
exists to a point.
doesn't.
That does to me. If she breaks labor, what's the difference? If she's against unionizing, she's still an evil person.
and I agree with both of you. The reality is, Larry, you're absolutely right. She stood up for what was right for the country, tried to stand up to Trump, and has suffered for it. But at the same time, you're right, because when Trump was president, she voted like 94% of the time with all of his policies.
Right.
And she
So-
did that because of what was left of the party.
No, I think she believed in some of those policies back then. She believed
Even if
in
she
those.
didn't believe in them, she believed in whoever.
She was a
instructed her to
hardcore.
Oh, she was.
Republican. Just end
And
of the
then-
story.
and
But
then-
now you're like, dude, she's moderate. I like her.
Yeah, but they all
She's not
and they all
moderate, yeah.
and they all threw
That's
her
how
out.
extreme we went.
They all took her out and put her out with the trash.
But that's how extreme.
That's what they did with Mitt
That's
Romney
how,
too.
But that's how. But yeah, Mitt Romney was never quite as bad as Liz Cheney. I don't think. But he wasn't somebody that I necessarily liked.
I never liked him.
I didn't like him, but I don't dislike him either. I don't
He
explain.
at least he had the cojones to try to stick up for Trump,
Well, yes.
against Trump.
Sort of Adam Kissinger and Kissinger, him as well. I mean, there were several people who did that because they believed in the country, believed, like, my policies. I agree with some of the things Trump does, but I don't agree with necessarily who he is. And I can respect that. I can be okay with that. You know, I would fight against some of the things that they wanted to do, but you know. So at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of with Larry. Like, I'm okay with Liz now, just because she fought against Trump. I didn't agree with her when she was in Congress at all,
I didn't
you
agree
know?
with her a lot of times as well. I mean, there wasn't a lot to agree with.
It might be a me thing, but if you put a knife in my back and pull it out halfway, I still don't think you're a good person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. So we're talking about KKK Kirk,
Yeah, and,
big-headed Charlie,
Do you know what he reminds me of? What's the name of the guy?
butthead
Lincoln?
without Beavis.
1960s, there was a guy that used to go to the college campuses. He was an actual Nazi. He wore the actual symbol on his arm.
Wow.
And he was also taken out
Duke?
like that. No, Lincoln.
oh wait,
You remember his name.
Metzger?
No, not Metzger, but he was like a Metzger. He was I forgot his name, man. But he did the same thing Charlie Kirk did, and his biggest attacks were on the homosexual community. And he
And Jews, probably.
Oh yeah, that's natural to them. And he spoke the same thing. He went to the college campuses. He did his best to recruit, and he spoke. It's the same line. We all know that this is propaganda, right?
Sure.
This is developed propaganda, proven technique
Create hate.
to create hate, to dehumanize people, so that those people are easier to attack than it is someone that you consider human. So when you plug into that system that you know exists, that we know exists, that's been taught in schools, that how they move from point A to point Z to get their system, their actualities across. That's what makes Charlie Kirk a white supremacist, even though he denies it. Even if he didn't have the education in understanding it, he's a white supremacist.
He can deny it all he wants. You just have to go by what he's saying.
Right.
That's
your
all you
actions
got.
and words.
Yeah, you don't. I can tell you things all day long, but if I'm acting differently, or I'm saying things that contradict it, you have to pay attention, and that's one of the problems with a lot of people out there. They don't pay attention. They're not paying attention to what is being told to them. So they become either a vehicle for the groups that they're trying to associate with and to further their positions, or they're falling ignorant.
Well, I had heard that Charlie Kirk said that if he saw a black protester, he would be okay with shooting them.
Wow, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I heard that on the radio on 99.1.
I know he definitely
And
said if he saw
he
a
had
black
said that-
pilot, you'd wonder if they were.
I heard that
qualified.
too.
Doubt their
I heard that
ability to
too.
fly planes due to
So
intelligence.
he was trying. They were trying to shut somebody down, online or something, and they're
He definitely said the black community was better before civil rights. That's something he said.
yeah.
Yeah, he was obviously
That
racist,
was their
but
defense.
Look,
Is that what he said?
there's
He
no
had
question.
said that in 2011 or something like
There's
that.
no question the man had issues with race, for one thing,
And women.
and women, and a lot of things. My point is that we're going to hear, everybody's going to hear a lot of things from this point forward that he's not here to defend or acknowledge that he has made those statements. There's enough on record, there's enough recordings, I'm sure, that if you're really concerned about what he has said, we need to verify that through his own words, not somebody else's words, because a lot of things, even things that I've said, are things that I have heard myself. And the only way to really we have to be able to verify is through the things that he says. Just like when Trump says something such as, I'm going to be a dictator from day one. You
See that he's doing it now.
He came out of his mouth. Okay, so somebody cannot deny that it was said. In the same way with Charlie Kirk. So a lot of things that we're hearing that he said, I encourage people to look it up. Don't just take what you heard as gospel. Back it up with the words out of his mouth. That way you've got fact on your side, whereas others don't. And that it could even be people that are pro-Kirk. They're going to say things that he may never have said too. To glorify him, whatever it might be. But it's up to us to look these things up. Don't just take one person's word. Don't take one news network's word for something. Look it up. There's enough documentation of fact. And the best fact is when you hear it coming out of their mouths.
You can hear that from Charlie Kirk quite a bit.
Well,
I've
that's
looked it
my
up.
point.
I've looked it up.
Okay, I'm not criticizing or suggesting you didn't. All I'm suggesting to anybody that's listening that's the responsibility we all have, not to anybody but ourselves.
You can find all the truth on Truth Social. Just log on. The truth is right there in every paragraph all night long.
And it's signed DJT.
Got it, baby.
You can find all your truth on Truth Social.
Okay, but without the cynicism, but this is my point. People are going to be, whoever's going to be listening to this, I wouldn't want to encourage anybody to do anything less than to do diligence and try to find those words coming out of that person's mouth that you're hearing. Because a lot of what you hear may be false, and a lot of what you hear could be true, but you won't know unless you do your homework.
Yeah, but as long as they know he's a Christian, they give him a pass on everything else.
They do that by ignoring it, by lying about it, by being hypocritical about it, and they do not read about it.
I agree, but the thing is, what you had said, Ron, doesn't give any justification. Whether Christian, Hindu, I don't give a rat's ass what they are. the basic bottom line is that they've got to do their due diligence, do their homework. I don't care who you are. You know, people can, whatever they hide behind can use just those justifications. But you know what? There's nothing better than the truth.
But what do you do with those people who refuse to educate themselves and live by the truth, and
You
they're
know
attacking
what?
you when they
You
start
can't
attacking
do
you?
anything about it
So
because
just
you
let them
can't
attack you?
control. Well, you have. What are you going to do? You can attack back.
You live by the Fox News.
You can't change
right.
them. You can't change them.
The only thing you can control
Just
is
ignore it.
yourself.
Don't look. Don't look.
You
But
can't.
that's like ignoring an inferno.
no,
Like
not
even
always.
though it's not your building, it's still
Sometimes
burning.
what
Not
you
always.
It
don't
might
know
catch yours.
doesn't hurt you.
Well, all I'm saying is that you can only control one thing, and that's yourself. You can't control them because no matter what you do, no matter what you say to them, they're still going to believe what they're going to believe.
Right. they're
And
gonna
if they
believe
want
a
to
lie.
attack you,
But they're going to believe a lie.
So-
you need to call that out.
Okay, call
just-
it out.
Not just generalize it. They're going to believe a lie.
Fine.
They're going to believe in
how
bigotry.
far are you going? So
they're gonna
once you
practice it.
once you've called them out, how far are you going to go from there? Are you going to continue on it?
Yes, just the way they continue on with their white propaganda.
You want to know what? I'll speak my truth to them.
Right.
I'll call them out, and then I'll go about my business because I got more important things to do than to deal with ignorance.
They won't let you go about your
Oh,
business.
bullshit.
I promise.
No, they won't let
Look
me
what
go.
they-
You've been on Facebook too much.
They won't let
Back
me go if I won't let me go.
Facebook
It's
is an
just
evil
like-
place.
whether it's Facebook, TikTok, or any
They'll
of
try
them.
to look for
You
your
got-
job
has
and get
become
you
evil,
fired.
too.
You know what? Before we had any of that, we had a TV, and if we didn't like what was on TV, what did we do? We turned the damn thing off. And that's
Yeah,
the
but
same thing we can
today's
do
people
now.
Today's MAGA on TVs, on the internet, and they go after your jobs. They're doing that right now. I mean,
No, they're not.
they do that to plenty of people.
Yes, they are.
Not my job.
Well, not
They're
your
coming
job.
after our unions. You bet you.
No,
Yeah.
not just that, guys. They like, if you've said anything about Charlie Kirk, they've gotten people fired or dismissed.
You know, that's a good point because, Matthew Dowd was on MSNBC, and I was appalled when I heard that they let him go.
Yes.
I could not believe
For
that it
speaking
was
the truth.
okay for Charlie Kirk to have his opinion, to be able to speak the things he spoke to, and then nobody did anything about that. But when a man speaks about what had happened, and he was speaking his truth, maybe his opinion, whatever, and he was let go for that, that was total bullshit. That was total bullshit.
I don't miss that. So.
That's called oppression.
No, it was called fear because even the networks, MSNBC and the like, have fallen to Trump.
Yeah.
They're afraid of him because if they hadn't have let Matthew Dowd go, God knows what he would have done. Who gives a shit? The only power that man has is the power that we give to him or we relinquish to him.
That's what they did.
And that's what's going on now. And if the people turned around and took it and forced the issue to stop it, they could stop it. Believe me, it could
He's
be
not
stopped.
working for the people anymore. He's working for the power.
Well, we know that.
Yeah. So
But the real power is in the people.
Yeah, but the people don't do anything.
No,
That's the
because they're
problem.
sheep.
They just got a 97-inch TV. They're too busy watching it. Mm-hmm. And that new $90,000 Tahoe. Mm-hmm. I can't revolutionize or I can't fight back because I got a payment to make next month.
97-inch TV.
He
Big
just-
screen TV.
He's just talking about you got a big screen TV and an expensive car. I can't go out and fight about it. I got to go to work and pay for that
I
stuff.
see
That's
what
what's
you-
more important
that's
to
what
me.
he's saying.
I got to take care of my comforts.
And I've been saying that since I was in my 20s. As long as people have their big truck and they got their TV, and it's not affecting me, I don't give a shit. That's how people feel in America.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because the world is centered around them.
Yes.
it's
They're
called
not-
worry about myself.
Yeah,
It's called consumerism. We're all
Well,
like
that's
that.
it. They've got you buying shit.
Yeah, we don't create.
well,
nothing
that
more.
not a lot of that's happening now. So,
Not with the tariffs.
that and a few other things.
And the lack of jobs.
So, what about Kirk? Yeah, lack of jobs. The jobs market.
got a lack
Jesus
of breath
Christ, that was
now.
horrible. 22,000 jobs created this last month. That's it.
Right.
Oh, there was some created?
Yeah.
surprised, right?
Wow.
Unemployment's up to 4.3%, which
But
is
I think Donald Trump is saying it might be a lie, or just wait till next
It's
year.
all a
we'll be done.
lie. Unless
He'll
it
fire the
favors
person that
him,
came up with
everything's
that
a
number.
lie. So
So what about Kirk? So what do we think about him?
I think he's dead.
I'm glad he's gone.
You know,
I'll never be a.
the part of me says that while he was alive,
He was a menace to society.
He didn't directly impact my life. He didn't directly impact the way I think, or the way I raise my daughters, or the way I conduct myself in public. Any of that. He had no impact, no effect. In fact, I mean, I knew who he was. I knew the things that he said. But he, to me, was an insignificant person.
But he's
people
not,
that-
he's
the
not
people I'm mo-
insignificant to you if his followers start attacking you for who you are, because that's what he was teaching. So I know it didn't impact you
That's
right now.
but I'm not going to live in that fear either.
Right.
I'm not going to succumb to fear, because that's what the other side is all about. All they talk about is how and what you should fear. Fear is the biggest motivating factor, and I've always said that the people are motivated by fear. If a person is confident about themselves, if a person is confident about where they stand, that they're not fearful. But so they're not, the only thing that will motivate them is living in the life that they're living in. But people who are motivated by fear, God knows what they'll do, because fear will drive you to violence. It'll make you somebody who you might not be otherwise.
But what do you do when they attack you? Because that's what they're doing. These are planned methods to attack people who are non-white, who are poor, and who are marginalized. Mm-hmm. This is the white propagandist movement.
And the people who support them.
Well, the whole thing, it
didn't affect you, but it will eventually. Mm-hmm. What do you do then? Isn't it okay to plan for it?
Well, it sounds, to what you're discussing, sounds more like a civil war.
Well, I don't even want to call it a civil war. It's just natural. It's been happening for 500 years. Who remembers Manifest Destiny?
Oh yeah.
The white supremacy movement has continued on. Has never stopped. It may have slowed down.
Well, that's true.
It may have slowed down, but it's still here. And to talk about it means we must educate about it. So some people don't think it's dead.
But I keep bringing up the fact to Ron, and I'm like, so was it the conservative party that is the ones that killed the natives, massacred the natives, kept the slaves?
I don't know if they're conservative, but they definitely were the white
There was
Europeans.
no such thing as conservative and liberal back then.
No, they were white Europeans, and they came into this country starting back in the 15th century, in the late 15th century, and the brutalization continued because they thought whatever was their right to have it. But even if you go back further than that, people have been fighting over land, for an example, since the beginning of time. If they didn't have possessions that somebody would kill for. They killed for the land, for the territory. And it's no different, because when the white Europeans came here, they did the same thing. The one thing that they did do, too, that they incorporated within that was just making an agreement and not sticking to it. How many times did they do that with the Native Americans?
You mean like Donald Trump?
Native Americans were told from the beginning things and given land, and then the land was taken away and they were pushed off into some other corner. And it just continued to perpetuate.
Yeah, they were stealing oil from them, and
They didn't.
the oil from their land.
The
and-
Native Americans didn't care about any of that shit. In fact, the Native Americans didn't believe in borders. They didn't have borders, And then it was the white Europeans that created borders. And that's why, when they talk about, and we're going into another subject, but when they talk about, what they regard as I'll call it undocumented immigrants, because I don't believe in the word illegal alien.
Yeah, you dehumanize
I don't
people by
believe
using
in
that
that.
term to identify a human
Yeah.
being.
So, but the point is, and my position has always been, those people were here and their ancestors were here before we were. What right do we have?
We stole it. That's the right.
That's the bottom line. We stole it.
It's the greatest country we ever stole, Larry. God damn it.
And now we're treating them, like they're not, they don't belong here.
Right.
They do belong here.
But that's why
No,
that's
but
why I bring it
the
up.
human rights violations is what it bothers me. Like they're violating their human rights as people.
Those
And-
people of yesteryear that we're
and-
speaking about from white supremacy that invaded, that are occupied or settlers, whatever you want to call them, those are the same people that Donald Trump is in his administration.
Yes.
The exact. That's why I bring it up.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 500 years. This is who they are, and it doesn't mean all white people, because it obviously isn't, right? But what it does mean is, it's the bad people, the inhumane people that are greedy, versus the good people, right? So that's why I want to make sure that it gets out there, that word white supremacy, because that's what it is. It's white supremacy.
I get it.
And people who are white doesn't mean that they got to be a part of it, but they could fight against it with us or with anybody in general, because it's an inhumane movement, right?
You know, I got to tell you something, as a white guy, you know, excuse me, several years ago, I was part of that ignorant class of people who saw other people coming from over the border, and you know, I adopted the same nonsense that they had, thinking that, oh my God, they're using our hospitals and they're getting this, they're getting that. You know, and I thought to myself at one point, I had to stop myself. I had to stop myself and look inwardly and ask a question.
Why am I a bigot?
No.
Why am I so white?
That would have been closer related to the second question. The first question was, if I was in their situation, would I do anything different?
Right.
And the answer to that question was no. If I had to make sure that my family was taken care of, if it meant me having to come over the border and being separated from my family to provide for them, to go out and work a hard day's work, to be able to send a few small amounts of that money, because I wasn't making as much as somebody else might, would I go that far to take care of my family? The answer is yes. If I came over here with my family and my children needed some medical attention, would I deprive them of going to a hospital and getting the help they needed? So my child, whatever he had, didn't spread to the other kids in school. Would I do that? Yes, I would. And I started to come up with my own answers, because I asked myself some honest questions. And the next question I asked, related to what you're saying, after a while, I asked myself, am I a bigot? Am I a racist?
That's a hard question to ask.
It is, yeah, but the truth is, when I adopted my newfound thinking, I realized I wasn't a racist, and I could answer that honestly to myself. And not just from the immigrant standpoint, but having even to do with people of color. You know, when we look at people as being different than who we are, we've got blinders on. And it's going to be real easy to separate ourselves from them. But when we put ourselves in their shoes and put ourselves in their positions of what they have to deal with, then just maybe people will come away with a newfound reality in the same way that I did. Because I'm nothing special. I'm not any different than anybody else that is walking this earth. And if I can ask myself those questions and be honest with myself, then other people can do the same. And then maybe we can change the thinking of many people so that they come up with their honest, answers.
So we'd have to work that type of program into public schooling, right?
We're
It's
trying.
called sympathy.
I'd be
Put
okay with
yourself
it.
in
No,
other
it's called
people's
teaching-
shoes.
teaching
It's called
empathy, yeah.
it's called empathy.
I'm
Empathy,
for
yeah,
it.
not
And that's
sympathy.
what
it's-
Slack is.
That's a word that Charlie Kirk hated.
Oh yeah,
But empathy is understanding.
yeah.
And that's what's important. And I am so fervent on that point, because that's what needs to be done. People need to take responsibility. And we always hear this from the politicians about taking responsibility. But what does this taking responsibility mean? Taking responsibility means is sitting down with yourself and taking the time to understand yourself better. Am I a racist for what I'm thinking? And if I think something bad of somebody else, what are my justifications for that thinking? Get close to who you are. When you know yourself better.
Larry, you're giving people way too much credit, dude. People are not that introspective, especially people in America.
I think
it's
Larry's-
just not going to happen, dude. They're riding around their $90,000 trucks. They're going taking their toys out.
I understand.
They're looking at their big screen. You think that just because you can do it, these other morons can do it. They don't do it, Larry. End of story. That's the fucking problem.
They don't do it because they don't take the time.
They don't take the
they don't
time, and
want
they don't
to.
have the intelligence, and they don't want to because they like who they are, Larry. That's the problem.
That's why sometimes I say it's.
Then we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
No, you're not going down a rabbit hole.
We're in the rabbit hole.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're in it. Why do you think Donald Trump is the president?
Because he's a rabbit.
No, he is not a rabbit.
I thought it was because we were making.
Is it because he's a hole?
Because there's a whole
He is an
lot
asshole.
Of
Yes, he's an asshole.
I thought we were making a real life documentary of
non-empathetic
idiocracy.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I told my friends to watch that movie, and I'm like, "Are you fucking
This is
kidding me?"
Idiocracy Live.
It is. It's Idiocracy Live.
with the what are those shoes
Yeah.
called that they use in there? Those soft shoes everybody wears, Gators.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Loafers?
No, those shoes that everybody wears now. They're soft. The nurses use them.
Oh.
What-
All I'm saying,
Crocs.
all I'm
Crocs,
saying,
Gators.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
you
Crocs.
know what? And I'm not going to say you're wrong. It may not ever happen, but I'm not one who's willing to give up. I'll continue to fight myself. I'll fight others to.
But what did you just say, Larry, to Rick? Who can you control?
I can only control myself. I agree. But if I'm going to talk about things, these are one of the things I'm going to talk about. And if I can get through to one person, so be it. Then that's great. Out of how many ever people I might talk to, one is better than none. That's the bottom line. So I could be wasting my breath, so be it. But I think the waste of breath that I'd be using is worthwhile.
Then we got to get you on the Spitfire calls and UDW.
Oh, thank you for that. I don't think so.
You're going to be changing people.
Yeah, right.
I think you're right about trying to have a conversation with people, but I think there's some people it's just not going to work.
Oh,
with.
I know. I'm not to the point where I think people are going to believe everything I'm saying.
Not even believe
I think-
everything
and
you
those are
say.
the people-
They're not
those-
even going to think about it.
I agree. I don't question that.
Those people might be the people you might have to make live in fear again because
No,
that's how
I-
they lived before. They were in fear of getting repercussions for being
A racist?
publicly racist. Yes,
Not
they kept their
anymore.
racism to themselves.
Not with Trump in power.
They're not smart enough to stop being racist because it's the only human thing to
Sometimes it's a comfortable place for them to be, but
do. Yeah, but
it
their
is.
comfort is my uncomfort.
I know.
They need to live in fear.
I know,
I'm
but
okay
like I
with that.
said, I'm not looking to change everybody. If I can only change a few people to help them, because in the end it doesn't benefit nobody but themselves, then so be it. You know, let's try to make a difference one by one if that's what it's going to take. So anyway,
Charlie Kirk is dead.
Yes, he is.
Signing off.
Oh, we're all signing off right now.
I want to
Yeah.
thank everybody for listening to this episode of Fighting for Common Ground.
See, he messed it up again.
The first time he got it.
I got it right the first
Yeah,
time.
coffee.
Yeah. So anyway, Fighting for Common Ground. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you have any concerns, you have any comments,
Leave it in
put
the
them in the
comments.
comment section. We'd like to be able to see what you have to say. And
Make sure you
Get
tell
some
your
feedback.
friends about us.
yes, please
Spread
do.
it.
Spread the word. It's not a bad one.
And if we ever go live on YouTube, I'm wearing thongs.
Hey, put your pants back on.